Alright, so picking up my outside video, I wanted to show you the front porch. The front porch definitely slopes from that corner to this corner, which kind of wasn't an uncommon construction, but it also, I don't know if it was intentional or not. So that's something that you definitely want to investigate. So the driveway here, like I said, is a little on the steep side. You've got a good front yard here. From here to just beyond that building, that tree right there is kind of at the corner of a secondary driveway that goes to the garage area. But I wanted to show you your drainage that they have from under, like as you're coming off the hillside behind the house. You know, you've got some drainage it looks like they've put in underneath, and it comes out here and feeds into this main ditch. The retaining wall is in relatively good shape. There's a few issues, things that I would want to take note of if I were going to purchase the house. It does have a slight bow in it. I can't get it to show up in the video. And here, this side wall looks like it's falling off. They've got a chain connected here and here to kind of hold them together. But you can see over the years they've tried to patch it with concrete and stuff like that, but it's still just continued to separate. Alright, I'm going to mosey on around the front side of the house here. You do have gutters, metal roof. The eaves look to be in good condition. On the front porch, this post to me, this pillar, looks a little skewed. That could just be because the lattice works off. I'm not sure. You do have crawl space access to the addition. Which I cannot get into today. On this side of the house, you have, that looks like probably the septic clean out. So your septic tank's probably right in this area, would be my guess. We can confirm that. We'll confirm the location of the septic. This, you can tell, had gravel on it at one point. This driveway is a lot more friendly as far as slope goes. But it feels like it would be hard to turn into. If you're coming down the road this direction, it'd be a hard way to get in turning left. But I think you could probably do it with a vehicle that's not too terribly long. So your, again, your retaining wall. Here on the end, they have some extra cinder blocks stacked up. And again, there's just ever so slight bow from the top, like it's just barely pitching forward. It's so hard to convey in the video. So the side yard area here brings you to this garage. And it feels to me like the majority of the property is going to be up on the hill behind. We need to confirm property lines. So there's not a good way to tell without, confirming. You may want to do like a survey in the future. So there's a retaining wall built around the back of the garage. Seems to be holding okay. I will note that this ditch is not really draining very well, and it really doesn't have, it goes down to right here. There's a pipe, and I assume that pipe goes out. It's one of those that comes out near the road, is my assumption, but I can't, confirm or deny that for sure. Inside the garage, you've got concrete floors, partial cinder block wall, and then plywood the rest of the way up. Clearly it has electricity, lots and lots of storage, lots and lots of places to work on things. So I feel like you could definitely get a car in, or 2 cars in here if you wanted to do them in tandem, if you wanted to remove this part of the workbench. This workbench is solid. Like, that's built out of 2x4s, not decking boards. That's a lot of wood. That's a lot of expense in wood. That workbench is going to last a long time. I don't see anything on the ceiling in here that makes me think that there's any moisture issues. The ceiling is made out of plywood, just painted plywood, as are the walls. I'm going to go ahead and lock this up. Good to show you. Got the electric panel, plenty of room for expansion if you had a project you wanted to do here. You know, if you wanted to put in some heavier operating equipment, you have the breaker space to do that. What does that light work? That light switch doesn't seem to work anything. Probably a burnout light bulb. All right, so I'm gonna go on around the back of the house. So part of the moisture that we were seeing in the basement, I feel like comes from the fact that we're built into the hillside. So you can see right up here, there's what we call a break. So from the mountain, they put in that break line. So the water that's coming off the mountain has somewhere else to disperse. So I'm sure there's some ditching. I'm not sure, but I would assume there's some ditching up here to run that water off. And then the runoff that you're getting to the basement is just coming from that break line to here. And it looks like this flat actually isn't quite flat, and it slopes toward the house some. If I were purchasing this house, I would want to come in here with a French drain up close to the back of the house to mitigate the moisture in the basement. So this chimney here is the chimney that was from the basement, so it probably does not function anymore, considering that they had removed all the stuff, all the, you know, the guts of the wood burner or oil burner or coal furnace or whatever had been down there. This train heat pump does look like it's seen better days. Looks like somebody hit it with a lawnmower or something, but it seems to function. The house was comfortable when we were inside. Let's see if I can find the manufacturer sticker on it. There it is. 2004. So that is probably, you know, nearing end of life expectancy. And then the side yard here, I think, is where you'd be able to have a garden and whatnot. This big, beautiful tree. So upon first look, I felt like the tree may be the property line. But when I look again, you know, we'll again have to confirm property lines because it's just so hard to tell on this property. This tree right here or this tree right here may be our corner tree. It looks like the way that the land was graded out changes right here, just behind that building. So I think that building goes with that piece of land. However, the door is on this side right here. But I don't know that that belongs to this house, again, because the land grading seems like that's graded for that house, and this grading was done a little bit differently to construct this house. So not a huge amount of flat space, but you know, enough that you could have a garden, enough that you could, if you wanted to have some small livestock like chickens, that would be possible at this location. If you didn't mind gardening in your front yard, you could garden some there, but you could definitely put a garden plot right here where I'm standing, you know, with confirmation of property lines. So there's the house at 1481 Boyds Ridge.